Hey YouTube. Well, this morning, or it was yesterday morning, my wife and I left Landvert in Ohio, driving on US 30. Well, it is supposedly to be the 24th of April right now. And as we were driving through Ohio and through Pennsylvania and into New York, it was snowing, freaking, and there's a picture in the end of this video that will show that it was snowing. And Ohio, Pennsylvania, not so much Indiana where we actually came from. Indiana is showing a little sign of springtime, but Ohio and Pennsylvania, it looks like it's winter. There is not one fresh green leaf on the trees. So I have decided not to show you that, a video of that. It doesn't matter. The last picture will illustrate clearly what I'm talking about. And that is what I'm talking about. That is, our climate is not what it used to be. We know that. We are being blamed as being the culprit in our bad weather systems because we are leading out too much CO2, which is actually a benefit for the trees and the plants to create oxygen for us to breathe. So they actually want us to diminish the CO2 contents so we have less plant life, and meaning less oxygen, meaning shorter lifespan, and we will more or less suffocate to death. In some cities around the world we have an oxygen level at 6%, and I don't understand how people can live in such a place when they can't breathe. It must be horrible. It must be like being on the top of a mountain, if you get my point. But I was talking about the climate rebound, that I think if we will have a climate chaos, I will think they will let the elastic band snap and seize all their weather modification programs, HARP, wind towers, chemtrails, until it resets, and that's going to create havoc when it tries to fall back on itself. There's going to be a lot of collisions between high and low pressure, and well, we can only guesstimate what will come out of that. But we also have this drill going on right now, Jade Helm 15, and while I've been driving out there, I also have read and heard some rumors about that Texas is being considered as hostile. Well, it might be they are hostile in the elite's eyes because, well, in most cases, I would say they're probably the most patriotic people in this country. They are determined to remain as Americans, true Americans. And, you know, there's no such thing as sovereignty when it comes to globalism. That is a no-no. So, I was thinking here today that this Jade Helm might relate to a disaster. But before I get to that, you know, Department of Homeland Security a couple of years ago bought 1.5 billion rounds of hollow point bullets, plus a lot of weaponry for their own staff. And that has led to armament of the American people. And it is like this, you know, even though you don't believe in God, many of you, it is like this, that God, He's kind of tapping you on the shoulder, whispering in your ear, without you kind of noticing it, that there is danger ahead. And that has resulted in the wake of purchasing all this ammunition and all these hollow point bullets from Department of Homeland Security. that has encouraged the Americans to arm themselves to the teeth. The gun sale and ammunition sale here in America has exploded beyond it has ever been before in America. So people are aware that there is danger on the horizon. So what could be better? Because they know just as well as you and I do that if they want to take on the American people in an armed fight, and only 1% of the American people, which will probably be the true patriots, the oath keepers, the militia, and a lot of other people who's not in some sort of group but are determined to remain sovereign as an American citizen, they would know that if that 1% is fighting back with everything they got, these globalists will not be able to take over America. They know that. So they will have to come up with another plan in order to make sure that they can create a situation, meaning they can create a problem, and they can also create a solution to the problem. So if it will come to an armed combat between American citizens and, unfortunately, probably American soldiers that is just obeying orders and have no idea what they're being led into, I think they will seek to do other means than to take up a fight, because they will lose that fight, and after that fight has lost against us, they will never ever be able to come in and do anything political, anything military, or anything law enforcement wise to subdue you again. You will stand tall and you will stand undefeated. So they have to come up with another plan. They can, but I don't think they will. But they could spray us, as they are doing, with chemtrails en masse. We have seen that, and I have talked a lot about that, and it's grotesque how we're being sprayed like we were ants. But I don't think that they would spray us with chemtrails with a lot of pathogens in it, even though they could. It would not look good in the surrounding world that suddenly only just America, that everybody is falling dead around. I think that will create some forest fire that will spread fast around the globe, and people will get the idea that something is seriously wrong here. This don't add up. How can it be? So that might make them rise up and then them protest and put up a fight enough to stop the globalists. So, as I have said since 2010, which has been put a little back in the forgetting box at most people, and that is that I said during the Gulf oil spill that the reason for the Gulf oil spill is New Madrid fault line, primarily. And the New Madrid fault line will go off in 3 stages. It will start in the center, it will then migrate to the bottom, and the last final blow to divide the United States of America will be from the center up to the Great Lakes. That's what I've said in 2010, 2011, 2012, and then I gave up talking about it because people don't understand that this is serious, and they're actually producing and making it possible for them to do so. And one of those means is fracking. They have destroyed the very ground that you're walking on a daily basis, all up along the New Madrid line, not on the fault line itself, but next to it. And that makes the ground unstable. And they only need the right vibration or detonation or combined those two measures from HARP and some subterranean nuclear devices or seismic bombs, I believe they have such technology, to set off the New Madrid line and thereby splitting the United States in two. And such a disaster would bring everybody in this country to a grind halt. It would be a paradigm shift in America. People would not understand and not grasp the magnitude of the disaster that just took America out, plus 20 million plus people all gone in one snuff, in one day's work. That will bring America down. That will bring everybody to their tears. And then we will make ourselves, in all our dread, in all our grief, sitting ducks for UN and other armed forces to take America over. And it will be a little easier, because at such a point, when you have post-traumatic stress disorder due to such a calamity, you would not put up so much of it. You would be much easier to subdue. It would be much easier for you to just hand over your guns and simply just give up. And that's actually how I think they are playing the cards. That is, they are going to create a disaster. I don't know if it's going to be here in 2015. I really don't know. I don't want to put a date or a year or anything on it, but I know that is in their planning. It could be by a false flag asteroid impact. It could be a false flag man-made gigantic earthquake measuring over 10.0 on the Richter scale that will make all bells in the entire United States ring at the same time, and that will really wake people up to disaster and grief and horror. And I think that would be the easiest way to take on America and bring America down. I honestly do. I don't think that they are going to take up an armed fight with us. They will lose. People are armed. People are aware. People are more aware than you and I out there think they are. They're extremely aware, because they've already been told behind their ear by our Lord Almighty that there is danger on the horizon. You need to be aware. So people are ready for that point, but people are not ready for an earthquake of such a magnitude. And I don't believe in the idea that they will spray us like ants, like they are already doing, but I don't believe that that is what they're going to do. Spray us with some pathogen or some toxin that will just snuff us all out, kind of like, what is it called, 23 weeks, or what is it, that movie called, 23 weeks after. I don't think it will be a scenario like that. Honestly, I don't, because that will create some rumors and they will not be able to hold that one tight. But a disaster that will shock the world, the entire world will be shocked by such an event, that America suddenly just split in two, and the death toll being so vast. I think every people, even though that they was to say they hate America, even they would be, oh man, this is bad. So that's how I think they're actually going to play the cards. That is, they're going to take us out with a disaster. So by that, in the last minute I have here, no matter what happens, you hold on to that firearm you have. You make sure that everybody around you know that they did this to you, and they did it for that reason, to take you out. So you, no matter what, you fight anyway, because if you don't fight, you lose. But it's better to lose fighting for your right to exist as American citizens and in freedom. God bless you.